What's poppin'? We back with another Performance Talk podcast, back with Tasha from Super Soft Radio. Goddamn, you already know what it is. Sticky on the track, making shit happen with the hot takes. And we about to just go on some of the things for this season. I mean, it's kind of crazy wild. This season is only 2 rounds in, and it seems like a boatload of shit has been happening. So how and where are you thus far this early season?
Me? I mean, man, you know, I wasn't expecting it to be an uneventful start to the season, but all of the stuff happening at once, like after you, like you said, 2 races and a sprint, is insane. So I don't know what shit show awaits us for the rest of the season, but I'm like, if it continues like this, it's actually probably going to be pretty entertaining.
So you in on it?
I mean, from the entertainment aspect of it, I mean, there's definitely
Okay.
some shit that I'm like not cool with, but I feel like overall, just the like shithousery is kind of fun because I'm like, they built these regulations up to be this big thing, fresh start, new page, and it's just the
Okay.
same old. And I think that's what makes it hilarious. It's like you don't really just change overnight, so or in a couple of months. So yeah, that's
All
kind
right.
of where I'm.
I like that shithousery. That's a good one. That's like
Shithousery.
festivity. I like that. I like that. So, okay. So, what about this season to you already is shithousery? Right? Give me a couple of things that you deem shithousery worthy.
I mean, the main thing is Mercedes. That engine
Mm,
is out of control. The I don't even, you can't even say like that they did it outside of like the spirit of the regulations. Like they just were like fuck the regulations. You know what I mean? Like they can't pass a test without it working a certain way. Like it's just genuinely crazy what they did. And I feel like part of me feels like okay, I think they saw Red Bull get away with it in the prior season
hmm
and they were like, well, you know, nothing happened to them, and they were caught multiple times. Cost cap, the brakes, the flexi wings,
hmm
like I feel like part of it is like, well, if that's how everybody's going to come at the beginning of a regulation period, then we got to do it too. And it turned out, I think only they are the ones, doing something a little bit, let's say, what do you call it, like shady, unsavory, whatever. But yeah, I feel like they're the ones that kind of got caught doing something like just severely outside of the boundaries, and I feel like everybody's looking at them like, okay, this is a little much. So
A
yeah,
little bit
that's
much.
it's a little much. And then of course you have the whole thing with them being like, the supplier to other teams, like McLaren. Oscar hasn't had one full Grand Prix race this whole season. He raced in the
Nah.
sprint, but he doesn't have points for 2 races. So yeah, it's just looking kind of crazy how like Mercedes is just kind of like handling everything around their engine. And then there's some new shit that came out today about their active aero situation.
Yeah,
So
the front active arrow
yeah,
closing
yeah,
like point 0.4 seconds outside
yeah.
of what may be the spec. I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of loving this shit.
Like
I kind of loving it. You know, I'm a race car guy. So when
yeah,
somebody can find something in that engine that's kind of in the gray area,
yeah,
I'm kind of with the smoke. But I will say this: I'm looking for June 1st. I am
yeah,
really waiting for June 1st to see where all this shit's gonna fall. Because if June 1st comes and this test is implemented and
yeah.
Mercedes pass, it's gonna leave a shitload of teams thinking like, oh shit, like it's not that. It's
Right.
something else that they've actually figured out in this era of regulations. And they're
Absolutely.
gonna be stupid lost because right now I think a lot of teams are sitting on their laurels like June 1st come, we ain't got nothing to worry about. We just keep doing what you're doing, and
Right.
Mercedes is gonna fall back. If June 1st come and Mercedes don't fall back, teams gonna be looking kind of crazy, and you can't really
Yeah.
count Toto Wolff out for a surprise in that manner. It's Mercedes has always, let's just be fair. When Lewis was with Mercedes, Mercedes has always been pretty clever with
Mm-hmm.
in the gray area. DOS, plenty of other things where it wasn't illegal. We
Right.
didn't directly write out the regs to write that out. We got to go back next season. It's going to be banned because it's not. They didn't do it maliciously intent. We didn't really write it that way. They found a
Right.
loophole, so it is. It's pretty much like Red Bull and the Beam Wings. We just wanted two elements to act as one plane. Red Bull split them,
Mm-hmm.
and Red Bull been in a shit too. But I'm wondering if it's going to be similar to like when asymmetrical braking came along. They interested that TD, and then Red Bull's pace fell the hell off. Now,
Yeah.
if we see that happen, either way it goes, I'm going in on that shit. Either way it goes, I'm going up on it. So where are you right now on Ferrari before we give members of time to ask some questions? To everybody, when you ask your questions, make sure you put your hand up in the chat so I can see your hand raised and then talk to you, unmute, and then mute. So where are you on Ferrari right now? Are you
You
feeling
know,
good about Ferrari? Are you kind of like shit gonna be another? hype season and letdown?
I feel actually very proud of Ferrari. Like I have to give them
Okay.
their tens right now because I do feel like they came with a car that, in spite of whatever Mercedes has going on, like it's a really good car all around,
Okay.
So I feel like, I mean, the race starts are insane. Watching Lewis and Charles, like they literally looks like they're hitting hyper speed when they take off. Like it is the
It's true.
coolest shit ever. Seeing them in the corners is like the coolest shit ever. So like the Ferrari feels like a really good like overall complete car. I'm excited to see what upgrades they're gonna bring. If they can find any like pace or any like ground to Mercedes, especially on like different tracks. So yeah, I mean, I honestly do feel like in some ways they really like turned a new page. I know Lewis had a lot to do with that. He is taking credit for the car, his DNA being in it or whatever. Like he's
Right.
definitely somebody who feels proud of this car. So I do feel like that does mean something in that aspect because, he was very quick last season to be like, look, I just got here. I had no input on this car. So I do feel
Right.
like the fact that he is taking credit for it and really like putting his stamp on it means that this is something that he can be proud of. So
Right.
yeah, I feel like in terms of all of that, like the technical aspect, I am excited. Strategy still to be seen. I do feel like the first couple races, especially with excuse me, Lewis's new race engineer, Carlos Santi. Like, I feel like he's been doing a good job, a much better
Yes.
job than
Hands
Ricky.
down.
And I know we
A
have another
dummy.
guy, Adam. Yeah, I know we have another guy in the pipeline as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see like kind of what happens if every aspect of the team is shiny and new, or if we just got the car right and we fall back to our old ways at some point. So we'll see.
Because the F word for Ferrari, fall back.
Listen,
It could happen. So we're gonna
listen.
try to take this dialogue in two team increments. So right now we are talking about Mercedes and
Hmm.
Ferrari. If you have a question or a statement you want to make for Tasha and I to address, go ahead. Make sure you put your hand up. Wildcat, you were in her first, so I'm gonna let you unmute. Remember, don't go on a 2 minute rant. Like, bring that shit sharp and tactful. Let's go. If Wildcat's not ready, then I'm finna go to Roxanne because I know she's ready. She's wanna.
Hang
Okay,
on.
Wildcat, go ahead, man. Oh
Hey.
yeah, hey, you don't want to get fucked up like
I was
last time.
shifting.
You was on there like, hey man, what the fuck? Who the hell you talking to? Go ahead, go ahead. So what you got, bro?
I was shifting rooms. All good. All right. So, and Jay, I like how you dropped that. June 1st, it's a special day. One, that's my birthday,
Oh
but
man, happy birthday, bro.
I'm interested to see how that's gonna impact come my birthday. How that's gonna impact Mercedes and power teams. But my question is what is y'all's take on how quickly these teams jumped at Ferrari in China about the little winglet that they tried to add to the Halo, which
Mm.
has now been greenlit by the FIA for them to use coming up in Japan.
All right, bet. Roger that. Mute that up. Tosh, you want to take that first? Ladies first. What you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see when they finally can dial it in. I definitely think China was the wrong weekend to bring it because, we only had the one practice session.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm excited to see what it can do. I know one of the big kind of issues with it was that it wasn't closing fast enough. So I don't know. I think I'm excited just to see like what it can do because it definitely feels like they created something that is within the regulations, but is more creative. Because obviously, I think that's going to be a little bit easier to copy potentially than like the compression ratio trick that
Right.
Mercedes is employing. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I feel like when it comes to like Ferrari is I feel like people have more smoke for them than Mercedes, but I feel like it's because Ferrari is probably a team that they could probably catch up to. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Whereas Mercedes is just like clear off in the distance. I feel like they're trying to like peg back Ferrari because they are a strong car that, has a smaller turbo. So they're trying to like, change race starts to, what is the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for? Disadvantage them. Even though, that's something that they worked on and warned everybody about ahead of time. So I do feel like it is a little annoying that all of the things that Ferrari came up with that are like within the rules, that are a bit more creative, are being pinpointed where I'm like Mercedes is literally over there, doing crime. So I don't know. I do think it's funny, but I get that also. I feel like they maybe are a bigger threat than maybe we were even thinking, and so I do think in a sense that's a good thing for Ferrari.
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and Tasha, I'm gonna let you know. I think it's Lewis. I think
Oh
if
yeah.
Lewis wasn't there, it wouldn't even be all that smoke. It would be a lot
Mm,
more smoke for Mercedes. Bullshit seems to follow Lewis Hamilton, and
absolutely.
I really don't even think it's that egregious of a development that, and I do like it. Wildcat, I like the development of that Halo winglet. I think that's really cool. I think that relieves a lot of drag hitting their helmets, and I think it probably serves as an ergo component to where you relieve some of that stress on a driver's neck from the wind impact from the downforce. So I like it overall. I think it serves two purposes. Now, whether it's really functional as far as pace or not, I don't know. But like Tasha said earlier, them bringing a car plus bringing innovative ideas to find pace, I'm going to give Ferrari some points for that. I'm still not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They got way too much bullshit on
Yeah.
their record for me to say, you still got to earn this from me throughout the 2026 season. You have to keep this up because it
Yeah.
was so many times
Absolutely.
last season where we saw Ferrari bring updates and they will lack.
It
They
did
will lack. It
nothing.
got to the point, like I said, Fred just stopped talking about the updates because when the updates came, it wasn't even shit to really talk about. So it just to me seems I'm gonna wait and see. And
Yeah,
then if
that's true.
everything turns out, then cool. I'm giving them their credit. But other than that, hell no. Baraka, you do have your hand up, brother. Go ahead and bring us what you got.
First off, I want to say good evening to the both of you and
Hey.
everyone involved. My question is, given the topic of Mercedes,
Mm-hmm.
um, if, and I'm saying a big if,
Okay.
Mercedes still finds a way to be the best car after June 1st, it's pretty much is going to be a George versus Kimi. How high is Kimmy's ceiling, and is it sustainable to
Mm.
be competitive against George, who at this point is a seasoned vet in the sport by definition, compared to Kimmy? Like, how high is the ceiling, and is it sustainable? Can he sustain that competitiveness against George? I want to hear you guys' thoughts.
All right. I'll go with that. I think because mine will be more simplistic. Tosh probably gonna dive in a bit more on that. I'll say this: it's almost like cooking a damn turkey. Like Russell is already to the point where he's cooked. So the time from raw to cook has already passed. Kimmy is just starting to cook. So there's more time to season, there's more time to base, there's more time to change the outcome of how good that turkey's gonna be. So I'm always gonna lean toward Kimmy, a younger driver who's already showing potential, as having a higher ceiling than somebody who has pretty much been in the sport thus long. How much more can they really grow? How many more different things can they really do? Because there's a fractional difference between somebody being the greatest and somebody not, but that fractional difference can be a long mile in outcome. So Lewis Hamilton, if you break him down his anatomy, is probably they might say 5% difference between him and other drivers, but that 5% is him being the GOAT. That 5% is him having 7-time or 8-time world championships, if you want to go there, and every damn near statistical Formula One record in the book. That 5% might look small on paper, but that's big as shit on the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at Kimmy as it's possible that he could, but we still got to wait because I still think it's early for him. So Tasha, where are you on that?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, yes, George, what is this, like his eighth season now in Formula One? He definitely has, from when he especially started at Mercedes, his consistency is a lot better. I feel like he is very hungry. I mean, he has something to prove to Toto, to
True.
everybody, because, I mean, in spite of the fact that if he wins this championship or not, like, I don't know that they're going to keep him. You know what I mean? So I feel like he has, kind of like it's this one shot, right? But on the other hand, Kimmy obviously has a little bit more of that nurturing aspect to his career where no one really expects it from him right now. So if he doesn't win it, if he's this close, they're going to still encourage him and work with him and like help him develop his skill and his craft. So I definitely think George has a bit more of that pressure on him to outperform Kimmy, because if you look at right now, like, I mean, yes, this is Kimmy's second season. This is the second race of the season, but if you look at like their qualifying gaps, if you look at their race craft, race pace, they are pretty neck and neck. And Kimmy has not been here
Yeah.
that long. So it's really the like accident prone aspect to Kimmy that he kind of needs to work on.
Right.
It definitely is like you said, can you sustain it over a season? We have like what 22 races this year, all these sprints. You see it with like Oscar, for example. He's a good example of this, of somebody who starts out the season really strong, but then kind of toward the end, he has just a little bit of dip in performance. And I don't know if it's just because you're tired at that point. It's just really hard to keep sustaining the same thing over and over and over. So, yeah, with Kimmy, it'll be interesting to see if he can like keep that pace, keep that up, because I do see like with this first win, you kind of like see that kind of like band-aid getting ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great drive. Like I feel like minus that one little mistake toward the end, you know,
Yeah, was a
I mean, it
doozy.
was a pretty big mistake, but yes, but you know,
Right.
he was really consistent. He was really focused, and so I feel like if he can like really like now that he knows what that feels like, I feel like if he can like harness that and keep that going throughout the season, I feel like George at least is in for a run for his money.
Okay.
But I think it's for George to lose, if that makes sense.
No, no, no. That makes total
Yeah.
sense. We got a new member, Roxanne. If you have anything you want to add on the Mercedes Ferrari, because I see you got your Ferrari shirt front and center, Miss Lady. What you got for us? You got to unmute and then go in. Go ahead, Roxanne. You got the mic.
Hi.
Hey.
This is a challenge for me right now. I'm trying to understand how to work all this stuff. But good evening, all. I wanted to know, Tasha, hi, how are you doing? I hope you're
Good.
doing
How are
well.
you?
With the dynamics of Kimmy and George, we know George is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He will play your friendly person and you get along, and then he will have the knife right in your back before you can turn.
Absolutely.
We've seen it done many times with him. Do you think Toto would allow him to do that to Kimmy?
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Go ahead,
that's a
mute up,
good
Roxanne. You
question.
got that? Yeah, that is a good ass question. That's a good one. Go ahead, Tasha.
Yeah,
Take
I
that.
mean, that's his. Listen, I feel like I said George is in a real interesting situation because he was marketed as the future of Mercedes. He's, you know, the person that's supposed to bring the team to the future. But as Toto says that, he's still courting Max Verstappen. Even I was joking with my partner Christopher. I was like, this feels like one of those like bird mating rituals, right? Like Mercedes is like, look at our engine, look at our team, like we have everything now, right? Because before,
That's a good point.
especially looking at the previous generation, they can't really sell Max on coming to Mercedes when that
Hell
car
no.
was shit to drive.
Hell yeah.
So there's no reason for him to leave. But now there is, and I feel like they're doing like this mating dance to like attract him or attract somebody else exciting, whoever catches Toto's eye, to the team. So I don't feel like George is secure, even if he wins. Like truly, even if he wins, I don't think he is safe. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't really see that Toto would allow George to bully Kimmy in any way, and I don't think if and George to me is cunning. He's smart enough to I feel like he kind of would know not to like push it too far. Like there's only so much you're going to allow, and also I feel like Kimmy has a lot of support amongst other drivers in the paddock as well who have been around. Lewis being one of them. So he's definitely going to make sure that Kimmy feels like, look, I've been through it, here's how I would deal with it. He might not say it publicly, but I do feel like, you know, he's one of those people who would like probably like mentor Kimmy and keep him straight. But yeah, I think George has to be careful how he plays this season. I think he needs to just focus on performance and not politics.
Man, that's wild. Crazy
Yeah.
that even if that bro win, he still could be out the door. That
Don't you
could be
feel like
wild.
that though?
It does kind of feel like I don't
They gave
think
him a
it
one
any
plus one. Like, dude,
right,
how are you the future of the team? Even Oscar got a bigger contract. He hasn't won
right.
anything.
For sure. So it's kind
Like,
of crazy.
come on.
Russell should, like I said, Russell should feel disrespected. For real. I
Absolutely.
would feel disrespected, honestly. For real. Incredible fast question. If you don't have a question on Ferrari or Mercedes, brother, I'm gonna let Wildcat get one in and then we're gonna go. So you good? All right, go ahead. Wildcat, go ahead, brother. You got the mic.
All right. So since we on that Russell Kimmy situation, honestly, I like Kimmy. He's done well. I mean, rookie's gonna make mistakes. He had his rookie year. He made a lot of mistakes, but he also showed a lot of promise. Now, my take, and I kind of want to ask you this question. We know they didn't want to let Bono go to Ferrari with Lewis. Now, Bono on the radio at the end of the race said, "Get in here, my son," to Kimmy over the radio. That was a term of endearment. Like Bono has already taken this kid on. You under my shoulder. I'm going to guide you
Hmm.
to the top. And Bono's also said that every great champion has that innate ability to pull and drag 2 to 3 tenths more out the car than what should be. And we saw that in Schumacher's days, in Lewis's days in Mercedes, and in McLaren, and even with Seb in Red Bull. So how do you feel the fact that? Do you feel like it was a good thing that they kept Bono now? Because Bono's actually worked with Schumacher and now Lewis, so he's a great character of judgment on what it takes to be a great champion at the caliber of, say, Michael or Lewis.
All right, Tasha, you got to go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it hurts as a Lewis fan that he didn't get to take Bono with him to
Fact.
Ferrari. But when you're talking about Kimi, like, I feel like because he's so young, he needs the most support that he can get. I mean, this is not just like he came in, he went to Williams. He's at Mercedes. His team is like goated, right, in F1. So there's a lot to live up to. You can't just come in and be busting up the car every weekend. Like, yes, for a couple of races, it makes sense because you're young and you're new and you're fresh. But like overall, you're trying to develop him into a driver and also, like you said, a champion, potentially a champion. So you need somebody who knows the lay of the land, who knows how to talk to people. I love Bono's temperament on the radio. I love that he's helpful. And then obviously they're going to let Kimmy try stuff and like, make mistakes and like have his like growing pains, but they always have like feedback for him. And I feel like he needs that. The only way that this works, like Kimmy being there long term, the only way that this works is if they support him. And so in that aspect, I am very glad that Bono got to stay and is working with Kimmy because I feel like I don't, as an 18-year-old, I can't imagine the pressure that he's feeling, but I don't think it would be fair for him to come
Right.
in and they don't help him.
For sure.
And so if Bono had to stay, then it is what it is. But, that's a whole other conversation for another day. But yeah, I feel like
For
he needs
sure.
to be there.
Yeah, I don't see anything different. I don't see Bono doing anything different with how he's proven his character to be thus far through the years with Lewis. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be wherever I am and whoever you bring across my desk, I'm going to try to give my energy, my attention, and the
Mm-hmm.
best I can for that driver to be the best that they can be with my help and with the team. It would have been excellent had Bono went with Lewis to Ferrari, but yeah, radio messages wouldn't have been as dumbfounding as funny, but the outcome of that season likely was going to be very similar or
Absolutely.
exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Bono is a component that was missing with Lewis at Ferrari to change anything that happened because Ferrari's discretions are just way too monumental to be overchanged by a relationship of a race engineer and Lewis. It just was very more egregious that
Mm-hmm.
Adami was that damn dumb on the radio with Lewis, and it just made the shit show look that much worse. You know, like it just made shit worse. So
Somebody somebody said on threads they were doing the like radio transcript between Lewis and Carlo, and Carlo gives him an answer about where he can find more time, and somebody goes, so you're telling me that Ricky had this information at his disposal the whole time?
whole damn time.
The whole
Who knew?
time, and we're checking, like, get a grip, like, no.
Right. What the hell you doing? It's crazy out here in these streets
We
right now,
haven't
man.
yeah.
You gotta lose your job. Barack, I'm gonna bring you in, brother. Go ahead and lower your. I got your hand.
Yeah, so with the engines from both Ferrari and Mercedes, and you see within their customer teams that are supplied, you see one side of the customer teams that are ran by that prancing horse do pretty well, not to gloat. TGR Haas, I love you guys, of course. Yeah.
Listen.
Shout out to Toho Studios of Godzilla. If you know, you know. But
For sure.
with Daimler's on the side of Daimler, it only seems like outside the works teams, Alpine has a reliable Mercedes engine, while others with no either their own little issues with Williams and how they set up, prepare for the season, and McLaren, Lord knows what's going on over there. How true is their reliability in terms of can they maintain it for the season if they do well after June 1st, given the complex of the myriad of issues that they're going through for the past two races? I know it's only two races, but
Right.
it is not looking very inspiring for with the Mercedes engines outside of the works team.
Yeah.
True. I'm gonna say this before I let you jump on, Tasha. I'm gonna say this real quick that it is a bit indicting. Mercedes is running away.
Mm-hmm.
Alpine is doing well for who Alpine is. For Williams and McLaren to be looking like they looking, it's kind of says, yo,
It's sus.
You might be an outlier this season. For Alpine to improve by addition of subtraction, getting a Mercedes power unit, Gasly is doing this damn thing, and so you can't tell me if Alpine can get it right after they made hella damn sins of keeping Renault power units in there for God knows why. And Williams and McLaren come in. I mean, they came in from the get-go with issues. Williams backed out of the season early in 2025, talking about they were going to focus on 2026. And I said then, if Williams comes in 2026 and they fumbling and stumbling, that shit's going to age horribly. And it has aged horribly. And even when it was aging horribly, during testing, you missed all of the shakedown. And James vowed and said that we would not be on the back foot. You're on the fucking back foot, bro. You're on the back foot. So McLaren, sometimes you get too big for your britches. You know, the fall comes, the ego, you know, when pride comes before the fall. You that prideful and you want to sit up there and say, oh, don't worry, we'll get Oscar one next year. This year's Lando's era, bro. That shit did not age well either. So I'm just to the point where you got to figure out what's up with your shit. Honda is not going to come to my garage and work on my Honda, work on my B20 VTEC and say, hey, man, this is everything you need to do. No. We read through the regulations. They have to give them the same software. They have to give them the same power unit. It has to be able to achieve any result they have, but they do not have to give them the mapping and the tunes. That is up for you to figure out. So, you know, Mercedes, Williams, y'all better figure that shit out. That's how I feel about it, Tasha. I know how you kind of feel about it. That's where I'm at. So go ahead. You spit your bars, Tasha. Spit your bars.
How do you feel about... How do you feel about Mercedes only giving them the engine though after testing? So Mercedes had it since Bahrain? They were using the engine since Bahrain, and McLaren and all the other teams were not. Is that not right?
I don't know. Okay, this is what I'll say. I don't know, but I also need to look at the date because there's a date and time in which the manufacturer team has to have everything to the FIA and the team. So if they were within that range, then I just kind of feel like, okay, well, it is what it is.
Got it. Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel. Listen, so we can look at that. That's a good question, though.
I'm definitely curious, though, about the overall reliability of all the Mercedes engines because I believe George is on his second power unit already, correct? So
I think he's on the second battery or something to do with the power unit. Right.
So I mean, like that's 2 of 2, but I guess they feel like because the car is a rocket ship, maybe they'll just take the penalty. I don't know how anybody else feels. You know, it'll be fun watching George go from like P20 to P1, but I don't know how the other teams are going to be able to handle that if they've got to change out, you know, engine components throughout the year before the you know allocation. So I don't know. It's interesting. McLaren has is throwing up like you know, in a flag and investigation, so they want to see what's going on with that. So I'm just curious to see how it shakes out because it just feels like the customer teams are not happy. Mercedes is like, listen, that's not our fault. Like we gave you everything. It is what it is. And like it's listen.
Yeah, it's a dog fight. Yeah. It's gonna be some dog shit type shit this season.
I'm glad Ferrari doesn't have that. That's all I'm just saying. We have our own engine,
I'm glad too. Listen. Wildcat, I'm gonna let you go real quick now. I'm gonna let Roxanne come because later she'll bring it in. Go ahead, Wildcat. I'm gonna lower your hand.
All right, so so I'm gonna throw this one quick thing out there real quick as a statement. The power units that the Merc teams were using in testing, those weren't the actual race power units. Those were like a pseudo unit, I guess, not like all the way up to spec of what they have now because they didn't have the fuel homologated until right before Melbourne. So Merc was actually kind of biting their nails hoping they would make it in time or they'd be suffering FIA grade fuel, which may have done some bad things to that engine. Right. Now, the whole Alpine situation, I find that weird that Alpine of these teams that Merc is supplying, Alpine's doing better than McLaren and Williams.
Right.
But at the same point, it's not strange when you figure Toto Wolff sold some of his Merc stock and is now trying to buy 24% into Alpine. So it makes me kind of wonder what's really going on because Aston, as you can see, Newey did what he did to wait and bring Jonathan Wheatley over, keep Christian Horner out. And now Christian was talking about going after Alpine. So is the entire F1 grid at this point, hey, let's do what we can to keep Christian Horner out the sport completely, block him at every turn of the door. So I kind of want y'all's take on that.
All right. Go ahead, Tosh. You got it first.
I mean, there's so much to say. I mean, I guess just dabbling into the like that side of the conspiracy of it all,
Right.
right? Like, yeah, why would Alpine's engine not work or work properly compared to like McLaren to Williams? Like,
Hmm.
what do they know? Like, how were they able to configure this engine to be able to work for them where everybody else is struggling? Like I said, Oscar hasn't had one race this season besides the sprint. Lando was hanging in there. So to me, yeah, that does seem very shady. And if there's nothing going on, it, as always, just the fact that it's even a possibility just says a lot about the character and the situations that are happening, like behind the scenes. If it's this move for Mercedes and Toto to like kind of keep Christian Horner from buying into, Alpine, which makes sense because that's their engine supplier. So it's like, do I want to deal with Christian Horner as a customer? Hell no.
You don't
So
know.
it's like, I get it to that. I do get it to that extent. But yeah, it's just very weird. I mean, this whole thing with the Mercedes engine, and this just feels like out of character for them, right? Like, not so much that they do creative things
Hmm.
with their technology, but just like it's so messy and like everybody's upset, nobody's happy. Toto's like, again, just vibing. He's out here not a care in the world because his drivers are happy and winning races. So yeah, it's just like, to me, it's just like a very weird time to be
Hey, I
looking at
just
Mercedes like from an outside perspective, like, okay.
right. I'm just saying. I said a while, like 2, 3 years ago, Mercedes,
Hmm.
you got to stop trying to bring a knife to a gunfight because Red
Yeah.
Bull bringing a gun out, and I didn't know Mercedes was going to show up this year with a gold Desert Eagle. I had no fucking clue they was going to come with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know they
Listen,
was going
spraying
to get
everybody.
out the Buick Regal like MC8 and damn Menace to Society. Like, you need some help and just blow
Right.
your damn guts out. It's wild. So Roxanne, you got the mic. Go ahead.
Okay. I have, let me see, take my hand down. Okay.
I got you. I'll
Um,
do. I'll do it.
um, James Val is a Mercedes guy, so he should know ins and out of the Mercedes engine and so forth. For his stuff to be going sideways, that throws up a red flag for me. Also, we all know that Mercedes was hot as hell when McLaren smoked them last year.
Hmm.
I mean, they wasn't. Toto was like, I got something for your ass.
Literally.
Wait till 26. I
He's
got
tired of
something. I'm
losing
gonna
some
show you
customer
that I
teams.
can.
Good one.
So I figure there is some. I'm not saying that they're actually doing shady stuff, but there's something that
Possibility.
ain't smelling right with
Hmm.
what
Right.
they're doing. Because, like you said, how come Alpine, and we know Alpine ain't worth nothing. How
True.
come they can get their shit working and be on getting points?
And Gasly is whipping it too. Like, he's not just
Right.
like taking it
Exactly.
easy on
Gasly
these
is on
engines.
point.
Like,
He will cut
And
what
you
I'm saying the
can't
word.
even get out the
listen.
damn garage.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Good with Roxanne. Yeah, I feel you. I think it. I
Agreed.
like you said. I don't think it's some. I don't. I'll say this. I don't think it's malicious. I do think it's petty. I do think it's something petty.
Yeah.
I don't think they went over above and beyond their due diligence to make sure here we're gonna give you
Yeah.
everything. I think they said, listen, we only got to give them this much, and that's exactly what the hell we're gonna give them. No more, no less. Zach Brown with his cunning ass can figure it out.
Yeah.
McLaren can figure it out. I do think it's something like that. So Tasha, you ain't got nothing on that. We can move to the next two teams.
Agreed.
Because I saw your he said greed. One line
Agreed.
drop.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
So let's move to some of the foolery, the shenanigans. Let's go ahead and move to it. Let's just talk about Aston Martin look ultimately bad out here in these streets with a bag of
Listen.
riches and they ain't doing shit with it. So where are you on the whole
Hey,
Aston Martin debacle? Where are you with this?
what a mess.
Fact.
Remember whenever, like last year, we were all like, oh, we hope Adrian Newey comes to Ferrari and like whips the car to get.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
I know.
I'm good.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
You know,
never
I,
mind. We good.
I was one of them people like Adrian. I was one of the people that said Adrian. I said it was a bigger story had he
Yeah,
joined Ferrari and Lewis won his eighth than a
absolutely.
story of him joining Aston Martin. But I ain't know shit was gonna look like this. And at
Yeah.
the same time, I will say this: I still have to be legitimately fair with Aston Martin. Of They're pretty much a new team right now. They're moved into a works team. They got a totally different power unit. They got a new engineer. They had one engineer being a team principal. You still got a shitbox driving ass son, Lance Stroll. You got an owner who's got almost a Jerry Jones mentality that he thinks he could pay for everything and win everything and ain't won shit. I just think there's a lot of things in the pot. And this is to me, a very good example as money can't buy championships.
Yep.
It takes information, technology, and people that know how to build shit to win championships. And that's where I sit with it. And I think they're going to struggle because I felt Lawrence Stroll thought I could throw money at this shit and I can be the new Red Bull team. I mean, hell, they was Tracing Point. When they was Racing Point, they was the pink Mercedes. They was the green Bull. I felt like Lawrence Stroll really looked and said, you know what, if I can grab as many pieces from Red Bull as I can duplicate what they've done. And because that's been their history, that's what they have actually done. If you look, they duplicated Mercedes, did the Red Bull, and now it's like you want on the team, but yesterday's price is not today's price. And you still got to know how to do that shit. I can take you to Whole Foods. I can take you to one of the best restaurants in the world and put you in the kitchen. But if you can't cook that shit, it's going to turn out horrible. You're just going to burn a good piece of filet mignon or a beef Wellington. That's how I feel about it.
They wasting food. That's literally how I would put it, because
not like you hate that shit. You hate people wasting food.
Those videos where people are like, oh, my white mom can't cook and she's just like doing any damn thing in the kitchen, just wasting ground beef and tuna. Like, don't piss me off. So that's how it feels watching Aston. But I actually am, to your point, like I understood like they're building, like this is a new team that they kind of have to feel this out, but I still am flabbergasted. I cannot lie. Like the level, like the fact that, you know, Alonso and Lance can't drive the car without risking permanent nerve damage. Like that is wild to me. I watched Alonso's onboard of like him taking his hand off the wheel, like repeatedly until they retired the car because he just couldn't, the vibrations were harming him. So I'm just like, you know, that to me is just like, we gotta do better. Like, this is the pinnacle of motorsport. Like, we can at least drive the car without getting permanent nerve damage, like at the least. So
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a lot of pressure for them to make a lot of decisions in a very short period of time that is just going to lead to more suffering from them this season. Like, I don't know what we can expect from them, but I feel like a lot of it seems very hasty. I mean, even this whole thing with like Newey stepping down back to his technical role and them having a new team principal potentially with Wheatley, like it just feels like everything's like a rash decision. We're not like letting stuff marinate, but it's like they kind of don't have the time to. But I don't think good decisions are going to be made because, to your point, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, right? Like a lot of egos and people wanting to be right. And I don't think this is the scenario where you can kind of get it wrong at all. Yeah.
Yeah, they're about to beat the Cleveland Browns of Formula One. Just do a bunch of knee-jerk ass moves and draft picks and can't do shit. Wildcat, go ahead, brother. You got the mic.
My man said they about to be the Cleveland. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. All right. So, I mean, if we gonna throw shade at Aston, I'm gonna throw just a little bit of shining light.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We've gone 2 races. Lance Stroll ain't wrecked the car.
Okay. Look at you, man.
And if that ain't saying something. Now, here's where I'm gonna throw a little bit of darkness on it. Alonso, you was supposed to be this super guru type driver.
Goated.
But you went to Aston, where Lance is your teammate. Who are you comparing to? Because every F1 driver, their first opponent is always their teammate. That's the mentality. And we saw what happened when Lewis came in. He said, I'm going to take it to this boy. I'm not going to back down even as a rookie. So what do you think you doing? So I feel like talks need to be had on that. But what did Alonso say when he passed Schumacher in 130R back in his heyday? Oh, I knew he was going to hit the brakes because he has a wife and child. Alonso, aren't you a father now? So you telling me, come Suzuka this weekend, somebody come at you in 130R, you gonna pump them brakes, right? Because you have a child at home and not a wife, but the mother of your child.
Okay,
like I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know on that right now. No, he's not. He's a heartless, shady ass, petty motherfucker. All right? He's not gonna do it. He's gonna do whatever the hell he want to do. Just like he watched television on track and try to act like he's just being a mentor at the right time. Alonso doesn't
Right.
give a shit. And right now, he's so far removed from what a championship feels like, and he's been hating Lewis for so long. His ass will get. Listen, if that scene from the Ghost Rider was ever him, he's signing that shit immediately. He ain't even got to. Don't try to sell me on shit. I sign on dotted line. You can have my soul when I'm done. So now I don't think he pumping shit. He gonna try to get up through there for real. Roxanne, go ahead and come. Tasha, you got something on that?
No.
Roxanne, go ahead and come up with the mic.
Okay, I have a question here. Now we know Alonso is all about his money now. He got paid real nicely to go over to the Aston Martin. Nobody else was going to take him. All that talk he was talking, and we know he's not he talking about Lewis is washed. He's the one that's washed up, but you can't tell the great Fernando Alonso that he is washed up. That's shade right there that nobody wants. Also, I have in reference to Newey. Do you think that Ferrari dodged a bullet by him going there than Ferrari? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Tasha can have that for sure. I know she got some smoke on that one.
I mean, I feel like we dodged a bullet. It's hard to tell fully, right? Like how his design will shake out because the engine and is not compatible with the aero package, right? But I do feel like I think you can look at it from the standpoint of like team building. Ferrari is also in a new phase where they need to be working with people who collaborate well. Adrian Newey, I feel like wears his, his technical prowess crown very well, but I feel like he doesn't work well or play well with others. Like, I feel like he wants to be a team principal. He wants to be technical director. He wants all of his ideas imprinted on the team from the car to how it's run. Like I get it because he's been in Formula One for a very long time. I feel like at this point he believes he knows how to do that. Like I know Christian Horner sitting at home with the smug look on his face, like, not that easy, huh? Like, but I do believe a lot of these guys feel like that could be them. So I do feel like in terms of that aspect, I feel like Ferrari dodged a bullet from the standpoint of we need people on this team who want to contribute and not take full soul credit for everything, right, that goes right on the team, because a lot of shit goes wrong and nobody wants to take credit for it, right? Sure. So I do think that, yeah, in that aspect, just from where we're at, and I think that's why no one really panicked when we didn't get him. We didn't see Ferrari. I think there was like a slight bidding war, but then we lost. It was like, whatever. Loic Serra's coming. We have some people that are going to be here that are actually going to make some shit shake. He was with Mercedes for a long time. They built championship cars together with Lewis. So I do feel like that relationship matters in that context. And we're not having to deal with like a big ego on a team where it's already full of egos and we don't need one more. We need just clear vision and collaboration. And that's it.
Hey. Them super soft tires out on that track be laying down some hot laps. She laid down a hot track on that shit. Oh, prowess, goddamn, broke out the motherfucking dictionary on that shit. Prowess crown, god damn. You got it, super soft Tasha. Shit. Hey, listen, Baraka, I'm gonna tell you this, man. You are on notice, bro. I see you back there chilling with your Mercedes shirt on and you repping Haas. I'm gonna need to see some Haas colors coming over real soon, my brother, because we're about to come up with one of your previous teams. He used to be the Red Bull resident guy. Now he's Haas, and he got the right to be Haas because he did give me one. He said, hey, Haas with Toyota. I'm a Toyota guy, and that's who I'm going to be with. But now we about to talk about non-winning ass, crybaby ass Max Verstappen. Everywhere he go, he ain't winning nowhere no more. So so Tasha, where are you at on Max Verstappen and these fans finally, you know what I'm saying, realizing that all the spit they didn't put out just came back and they just dodging spitballs. Where are you at on that?
So my thing is this, because from my understanding, Max Verstappen, the god of F1, we should all be so grateful that we get to witness his greatness, who could drive a literal Dodge Caravan to victory. he back there in that piece, an actual piece of shit, right? Because the legend was he could drive anything. He's in a shit box. This Red Bull sucks.
That's true.
This Red Bull sucks. But
Amen.
he's pole today. Like, out of nowhere. Like, come on, it wasn't out of nowhere, y'all. Like, get a fucking group. So yeah, I am. Am I relishing in his suffering? Yeah, actually I am. Very much so. The hate watches so far have been generational, I must say. Like, I am sitting here like, yo, all this suffering was for something, like Lewis, we had to watch Max win championship after championship, and I was just sitting there like, yep, one day we'll be victorious. And I just feel like this for me has been everything. No, it's truly like Hajar, is right there on his ass. Like
Lawson and shit. Glad.
Listen, he ducking and dodging. Listen, I'm having a blast. I gotta say, and again, like it's just this is one of those things that's just very entertaining for me about the sport. It's like it's all cyclical. Everybody's a god, right? Until the car don't work, right? So. Right. If one person's a car merchant, everybody's a car merchant. And I think this is the time for us as a community to like finally come back down to earth and say that yes, there are drivers, Max included, who can pull something extra out of the car from time to time. But to sit here and act like the engineering aspect of Formula One is not like the biggest part of how these drivers are able to achieve things is stupid. To act like no driver who's a champion has ever had a fast car or the fastest car is ridiculous. So it's a nod to the team, everybody back at the factory, as our guy likes to say. But it really it comes down to everything has to work. And so for any narrative to be that it's just the driver and never the car, or anybody who's had a fast car is invalidated as a championship or a winner because they just had a fast car, I think it's ridiculous. And I'm glad that we finally get to see the answer to that question.
Yeah. I'm gonna let y'all ass know right now, if we ever I'm telling y'all right now, if we ever meet up at a karting track, I'm letting you know right now, I always find that guy, and I got $20 for you to put me in the best mechanically service car on this track. I'm just gonna keep it buck with y'all. I'm going, hey, bro, I got that extra 20. Which one of these cars is the fastest car? Here you go. Hey, that's just the way. Hey, that's the way I roll, bro.
Listen.
Hey, Baraka, you got the mic.
So yeah, I think Chris did nail it in the head. And I remember during F1 Minute, I've always said it takes two to tango.
Who the hell is Chris?
I mean, Chris. I'm just going
Tasha,
by
man.
Tasha. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was like, where the hell Chris at? This shit invisible or something? I
was going by the titles and everything. I am so sorry, Tasha. My apologies.
It was Wildcat Labs. Now it's Baraka. You know this shit gonna be clipped up.
But. Like I've said, even in the past, it does take two to tango. With a great driver, a great driver does need great engineers to display their real talent. Like for example, at the start of the regs for the ground effects, we saw it turn its ugly head with Mercedes. Look what happened with Lewis. Yeah. They went big. Let's be real. The slim slap, they went big.
Yeah.
They got humbled race one, but the thing is, I want to say they got humbled. They were riding with that profile of a car for a while before they were forced to change, I think by Monaco, if memory served me right. Now, with the issues going on with Red Bull and the murmurs of Aston Martin recreating another Red Bull minus two of the most hated human beings on the face of the earth, and you got Mercedes still courting, trying to entice him to jump ship, even putting one foot in the door with Team Redline. How much pressure is Red Bull in, or what is the risk of Red Bull losing Max to either Aston or Mercedes, given the fact that Honda, they love Max. He was their most recent world champion since Ayrton Senna. Just deep that's a long time ago. Yeah. So they love him. Toto loves Max. As he's treating Max as like the one that got away, but there's my chance to get him reel him back. Lauren Mekies has a big job to do in hoping that, they want to keep their star player, even though, yes, they're going through a rough patch. Every star player in the history of sports has that 1 or 2 seasons where they seem off, but teams should are trying to, ring them, keep them in. How much of a risk is Lauren Mekies and the Red Bull are in losing Max, in your opinion?
Go on, Baraka. Go ahead, bro. Go. Hey, Tasha, you got that.
I mean, I feel like Max is. I don't know if the danger is him actually leaving or him going to another team. Like, one of the two things is going to happen. Like, he's either going to retire because he's over it, or he's going to, I think, Mercedes, to be quite honest, like Aston, because they don't have their stuff together. I think the relationships would have made sense to go be with Newey. Now, potentially, like, Jonathan Wheatley might be there, like Honda. So, I mean, it would make sense. But I feel like because they kind of can't get it together, or not in the time frame where Max could be making this decision, like, I feel like it would be Mercedes, right? Like, that just to me makes the most sense in terms of like where Max could go. In terms of Red Bull, I do feel like there's a lot of pressure for them because, all the senior leadership is changed over. Horner's gone, Wheatley's gone, Newey's gone, like Helmut Marko is gone. So they, granted, were the axis of evil, but they all had very significant roles on the team that made it a championship winning team. And Laurent has to prove himself now while managing to, a situation where the car is not anywhere near where they need it to be. Max is very unhappy, and he doesn't have anything technically left to prove in the sport. I mean, he could straight up just pack his shit and leave today if he wanted to, right? Like, he doesn't necessarily need to stay, at least in his mind, right? So I don't think that there's a big enough incentive for him to stay at Red Bull if they can't figure this out. He likes to win. They're not winning. He hates that he's in like no man's land. I feel like he's just not going to want to stick around for that much longer and deal with that if they can't figure it out. And I don't know that they have all of the mechanisms in place yet to problem solve this.
I'm going to have to differ just a tad on that. Everything else, yeah. I agree with you. The thing with Max has nothing else to prove. I got to differ with that because now I know there's an old time debate. It's always going to be a debate.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, LeBron James. All right. Michael Jordan was getting his ass kicked out of the first round for a long time. People seem to forget this shit. It's like the first few years of Michael Jordan's career, nobody remembers this shit. Just like when he started winning is when he actually started the NBA. That's not true. Michael Jordan would get his ass bounced if he even made it to the first round for years before he got a full team and he won. But one thing Michael Jordan didn't prove and that he did disprove is greatness does not follow him, because when he took his ass out there to the Wizards, it didn't look good. All right. LeBron James, on the other hand, hey, he went in Miami. LeBron James went back to Cleveland. Then LeBron James went to the Lakers and he won that. So Lewis Hamilton has proven, at least at McLaren, I won that shit. First year, cool. I had to give it up. Second year, we taking that shit to the chip. Mercedes, first year, cool. We give it up. Second year, I'm taking that shit to the chip. If Max Verstappen wants to prove, especially the words he said is, hey, I don't have to worry about winning again. If you go to another team, and like Tasha said, this is where I agree with you. If he leaves, then he fully feels that way. Max is like, I don't have anything else to prove. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go join another racing discipline and just enjoy motorsports, period, as a purist. If he goes to another team, you're saying that you're chasing something before you leave. If that is true, then it would not be going to where Lewis Hamilton was, which is now competing and win. It would be, let me show you who I am. I'm going to go to a team and I'm going to bring them their championship, which would be Aston Martin. I'm going to go back, work with Adrian Newey with a component. I'm going to go back with the Honda Power Unit. And I'm going to show you that I'm the missing component. While they couldn't get it right, the whole missing component was Max Verstappen. When you plug me in with that, I was with the Valkyrie program. I did that. So that's where I'm like, if you go to Team Max and you're really trying to prove something, let us see if you can really work like that. That's how I feel about it.
Do you feel like that the F1 as a whole, because they see this, he's different to Lewis. He's not Lewis winning, right? So everybody's so relieved and so overjoyed that so I don't feel like, because to piggyback off of what you're saying, in my mind, like my opinion of Max is he does have a lot more to prove in the sport right? Because the whole team, Red Bull, was built around him. I mean, down to the fact that like the second driver wasn't even getting upgrades because they were putting their parts on his car, right? So like, there is a lot to prove. He has, and especially the way that people talk about him, the way that people build him up, the way that people compare him to specifically Lewis, while he hasn't achieved anywhere near what Lewis has achieved yet, right? So I do feel like on that aspect, he has a lot to prove because I'm like, you really haven't proven shit, to be quite honest. Like, if everything is meant for you to win, if the whole, even just the way that we talk about Max Verstappen in Formula One, it's very specific narrative, right? Like that he is so courageous. I can't believe he has to drive this washing machine every week to victory, right? Like, I can't believe that he is able to get pole. He shouldn't even be there. Like, there is so much lore that is built on this man's name that is like not earned in my opinion. I can give him his props here and there, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like he's done anything any more spectacular than anybody else. He just got the right team at the right time. Nobody else got the regulations.
Rocket ass car.
And there you go.
There you go. And that could be cool. You know? If everybody didn't try to embellish your shit. I always say you need 3 components. You need team, the car, the driver. But when you got a car, when you show you got a car that's 19, 20 seconds fast, but when your car soaks back into competitive range with 2 other teams and you lose in races and you can't be the cutting edge deciding factor of that team winning, then bro, you falling back to earthly. All that shit they sold us on was bullshit.
It's fraudulent.
You racing with Red Bull and it was bullshit.
And you know what? Sure. When you say it back then, you're wrong. When you say it now, you're early. Like, that's all it was. I was just early. I was never wrong.
Hey, so this is the order we're going to go in. Roxanne, since she is the newest member, I want her to have the last word, especially with us having super soft queen Tasha up here on the mic. We're going to go Wildcat, Incredible Facts Quest, and then Roxanne, you will be able to close the door. So Wildcat, go ahead, man.
All right, so since we talking about, you know, the almighty himself, Max Verstappen, you took your GT3 team, you jumped out of a Ferrari that you gapped the field with in your first race, no less. You jumped in a Mercedes, you still gapped the field, and then you got disqualified. Some of the top GT3 drivers who would normally be a part of that field weren't there because they're off where? Racing WEC at a higher level than what you're racing. So you didn't have any competition there. So I'm not even looking too deep into that. You got rightfully served that you know issue because Ferrari didn't make that mistake, but Merc did. That's a little shady. But personally, and I want y'all's take on this, I feel because you're right, Helmet's gone, Christian's gone, Newey's gone, Wheatley's gone, the whole demonic squad, they out the building. The only one left that I feel is holding Max to Red Bull is GP, and it has now actually surfaced that Aston Martin was actually approaching GP to try and get him to become the new team principal, which we know GP is honestly the only one who could probably handle Max on radio, and GP probably knows this too. So he said, no, I'm going to stay because if not, everybody else is going to get shredded and probably Max will have a new race engineer every single race. So
what's your question?
I want y'all opinion on if it does, in fact, now that Aston is kind of finding their footing with the team principal situation, which I'm pretty sure Wheatley's guaranteed going to take it, and Newey's getting back together with him, and they get on well. If Aston were to approach GP to leave now, would Max follow? Because he knows that's my token race engineer. That's the guy who I can lean on. Forget Red Bull, I'm out of here. Or will Max stick it in with Red Bull and say, hey, I'm going to stick it out, build with the team that helped me get up and show that I could drive at a world champ level, and bring my rookie team, my young teammate in Isaac Hadjar along with me because Max and Isaac have the same driving style.
All right, so you want to know, is Max going to leave? Go ahead, mute up Wildcat. Is Max going to leave if they get GP? And if the bag of riches is Wheatley and Adrian Newey there, would that entice Max? And hell no, Max is not taking nobody else with him because Max ain't that type of guy. So go ahead, Tasha. What you think about that?
I
He
mean,
the type of
like,
motherfucker let you fall.
yeah, I just feel like he's not gonna unless they can prove that that car can win races. I mean, at this point, even finish a race. Max is not gonna get nerve damage driving that shitbox Aston. Like he's just not gonna. It's the relationships be damned because, like to your point, he doesn't care about anybody but himself. Like, yeah, GP might be his brother when he's helping him win races, but he can't stand that motherfucker when he's losing. So
Right.
he getting cussed out every other week. So, yeah, I do feel. I don't know. I just feel like with Max, he's kind of a, he's very transparent. Like he just wants to be in a car that can win races, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't think any other team really can offer that at the moment. So yeah, I feel like unless they can really get that car turned around and consistently, I don't think you're going to attract anybody on that team. Like, keep Lance and Alonso, because who else is going to want to drive that car at this point? Or be
Damn.
part of the team, right? Because Lawrence is over there, like, throwing money at shit like it's going to, like you said, make a difference. It doesn't. So you don't really have clear leadership. You don't have a clear direction. Like, if you're desperate, obviously, to be on the grid, of course. But, I mean, if you're thinking, like,
That's
I want to
true.
win races and championships,
Good point.
is that really where you're trying to go? So, no.
Hell yeah. Lawrence Stroll up there like he in Club Onyx. Like, throwing it at that pole. I'm trying to tell you. Just let that shit. Wildcat, you did let it rain. Hey, incredible fast question. You got the mic. Go ahead.
Well, what I have to say, now thank you guys for the time. I don't think the only way that he could get the respect is if he could face at least some uh, adversities that Lewis has. He's never raced against somebody that will
Hmm.
fight him equally. Um,
Good point.
Lewis has done it with Alonso. He has done it with Nico. Um, I'm tired of all of this. You know, everybody either feeling sorry for Max or feeling sorry for Alonso. I mean, give me a break. Lewis was in a car, a bum ass car for 5 years.
Hello.
He sat there, he had his head down, and he kept pushing. Even he knew that the car was bad. He will
Hmm.
always say, we could do better. We could do better.
Hmm.
I, I had so much I wanted to say, Jay. After that segment you had about Max, and I should have wrote it down, but I'll let you guys go. Thank you for your time,
Hey,
though.
hey, no
That's a
problem, bro. Hey,
question.
hey, write that shit down because we're gonna be back again with another one, so you can go ahead and rattle that off. I'm good with the hey, I'm good with the machine gun fire on Max.
Listen.
I do it. All right,
Hey,
Roxanne,
but
go
one
ahead.
thing, one more
Go
thing,
ahead,
one
brother.
more
Go
thing.
ahead.
What did Christian Horner say in Abu Dhabi on that final race between Lewis and Max? He told the commentators, "I don't think that we're gonna win this." Latifi crashed, and that just sent shit to just haywire. But he
Hmm.
specifically said it. I don't think we're gonna win this race. It's
Hmm.
because Lewis is so far ahead.
He
Um,
said we need a miracle.
yes,
Hey, BTA,
yes,
he
he
said
did.
we need a miracle.
We
Hmm.
Right.
need a miracle. Um, yes, that's all I have to say. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Ain't no problem.
Thank
Hey, you
you.
could have just said because Christian Horner was worried about BTA, belt to ass, is what was going on in there. Belt to ass. So,
Listen.
hey, Roxanne, you got to go ahead and come forth.
Okay, Tasha, I am 110% with you with that Max shit, girl.
Mm,
I don't care for him one damn minute.
listen.
I don't care because I figure he lost all integrity when
Yes.
he know he did not win that race. It was stolen for him. And not once has he ever speak even a little bit stating that
Hmm.
I know that first championship of mine wasn't really mine. It was gifted. The FIA gave it to me. But yet still you come and you talk all this shit about Lewis and all this. You don't know what champion look like because
Mm,
you sure don't see it in the mirror.
listen.
Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT of Formula One. When you get to his stature, then you can talk some shit. He
Listen.
won a race in 3 wheels. That was the best Silverstone race ever. The man won it on 3 wheels. You can't, and he had shit ass car. He have endured enough pain to where he was even doubting his own self.
Yep.
And he has come back. He, I mean, the way he has come back and he has trained his mind and he have the backbone to take it and be like a duck where let it run off and not show it like that. You Max will never be something that a teammate would look up to. You got other team looking up to Lewis. Kimmy is looking up to Lewis. They come and they ask questions to Lewis. You ain't seen them going to Max. They ain't even gonna look at Lando's stupid ass way. But
Damn.
I'm sorry, I got no. And Lando, we ain't gonna talk about him because I got words for him. We ain't talking about him. Yes, he's one. He's a British bloke and everything, but he is no British person because we don't treat our people like that and talk shit that way. But in my thing, I want you to answer this for me. Do you think that Max is going to use the clause, because you know you have that clause stating that if they ain't doing what they're supposed to, will he utilize that and get away from Red Bull?
Hey, well, before you go, Tasha, I just want to let you and Roxanne know that I'm gonna call Cardi B, Nicki Minaj don't even matter. I'm gonna call down any other female rapper and let them know we got 2 females right now dropping bars on y'all motherfucking ass. Goddamn. Go ahead. Hey, go ahead. Hey, y'all go ahead, Tasha. You got it. You got the closing remarks at church. Roxanne brought us in. You take us out on church.
Okay. So first, Max, like I said, I don't, if he cannot win, I don't think he's going to stick around much longer in Formula One, whether that's of his like own will, he, triggers that clause or what. Like, I just don't see it for him. He doesn't enjoy this. But what you said about Lewis, right? Like being back, this is maybe my like whole thing that I've noticed from just the first 2 races is this whole idea, right, that he ever went somewhere. Because we knew that the car at Mercedes was bad. We knew that the Ferrari that he drove last year was bad. And everybody from the media to the content creators to the different pundits really were trying to drive home this idea that somehow Lewis Hamilton just like forgot how to drive and he forgot like who he was and what he brings to the sport. And all of a sudden, he's scoring points in his first 2 races plus a sprint. This is his highest scoring opening season in like what, 4 years. Like, he never left. He just was dealing with these teams that did not have their shit together. So for me, I am happy to see Lewis, having a new energy, bringing a fresh energy back to himself. It really felt like a lot of the stuff people were saying to him was getting to him. Not being able to like be competitive in races was getting to him. But the fact that he's so quickly come and been like, yeah, I know exactly how to fix this car or exactly what feedback to give to the team to help us work better. The fact that all of those things he's implemented, he's only been at the team for 1 year. And we already see a Lewis that's come in with renewed, fresh energy. The car looks great. He is having a blast, fighting with Charles, having a good old time. Like, he never went anywhere. And I just feel like I'm excited for him for this season. I'm excited for us as Ferrari fans and Lewis fans for this season because I do feel like we're in for a treat. It seems like this car is something that he's looking forward to driving. He's kind of getting back to his style of driving. Like, I do feel like we're in for a blockbuster season from Lewis. And so I just wanted to say that because I feel like it really bothered me over the last like 3-4 seasons where people were so convinced that Lewis Hamilton just like went to sleep, woke up one day and just forgot how to drive. Like, it's actually asinine, the shit that people were trying to insinuate about somebody like Lewis Hamilton. Like, you don't just overnight forget how to drive and who you are. So it was like a systemic breakdown of his spirit. And I feel like now that he's with people who actually care about him and that he can actually put his input into a team, that he's going to be even better than before. But he never left.
Well. We be cooking in this motherfucker. So, hey, y'all, listen.
Not wasting food in here.
Not wasting no food. You'll kick your ass if you wasting food. You putting that shit in that trash, and you better put some water on that damn shit.
Listen.
So, big shout out to everybody pulling up. Wildcat, Barack, Incredible Fast Coach, Roxanne. I'm telling you, Roxanne, she knew. At first, she was kind of like, just chilling. Now she done came out her shell. She be laying some down. Hey, we got a new headhunter up in there. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out Wildcat. He always bringing some quirky facts. And Baraka, he's our like, if I gotta go somewhere and they're like, nah, hell no, that motherfucker too aggressive and he gonna be biased as shit, I'll be like, that's all right. I brought Baraka with me. He'll keep shit kind of like mediumed out. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to everybody, Tasha. We really appreciate you giving us time. You know, Super Soft Radio is always welcome here at the Wolfpack fam.
Thank you.
We're gonna have you on again if you would have us on a different level in conversation type, just me and you on a podcast and just chopping it up between us and just going in. And so I always appreciate that you are willing to provide your time and your mind, because I always say it, man, you missing out. You missed out here in these streets by legit real people. You are missed out here for real. So I always try to find time to bring you back up because people need to see you and hear your perspectives, especially as a woman in motorsports with your opinions and your takes. So they sleep on you, but they shouldn't be. You know, so I appreciate you.
Listen. Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
She know karate to smack the fuck out of you for real.
Listen, the Muay Thai lessons were expensive, okay? Like, we throwing knees, elbows, like.
So, hey, big shout out to everybody. On that note, we're going to close it out. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. Thanks for watching another episode of Wolfpack Performance. Don't forget to check out some of my other content on Formula One and motorsports topics. Like, share, subscribe, and we go live on the weekends. See you soon.